Chapter 0: The Trap of Thinking Small. Thinking small isn't wrong. It's safe. It feels smart. People call it being realistic, staying inside what you know. But safety has a quiet cost. It makes your world shrink, one small decision at a time. You stop asking, what if? You stop dreaming. Not because you lost hope, but because you forgot how it feels to want more. And yet, everything ends anyway. So why not think bigger while we're here? Because the size of your thoughts decides the size of your life. Every change begins not with harder work, but with a bigger thought. Chapter 1: The Small Box. Your morning feels calm. You know the route. You wake up, reach for your phone, check what the world is doing. Nothing new, nothing wrong. You drink the same coffee from the same cup. You tell yourself this is balance, this is control. It feels safe, predictable, small. Outside, the city moves. Someone runs for a bus. Someone argues. Someone builds. You scroll past all that, quietly proud of your calm. Later, you'll try something new. Later, when things are easier. But later never feels close. The day passes softly, almost politely. No storms, no surprises. Only that thin air again. You call it peace. It might be a cage. You built this box yourself, out of smart choices and careful plans. You don't see the walls, you feel them. And you wonder, just for a second, what it would take to step outside. Chapter 2: Borrowed Realism. You tell yourself you're not afraid, you're just realistic. You plan, you prepare, you stay safe. It sounds smart, it sounds grown up, but most of what you call realism isn't yours. It's borrowed from parents who worried too much, from teachers who stopped believing, from people who once tried and failed. Their voices live inside you. Be careful, don't expect too much. Be grateful, stay in control. You repeat them, and it feels like wisdom, but their fear wears your voice now. You start to wonder, did I ever choose these rules myself? We borrow our realism from people who gave up dreaming. If their fears built my limits, what happens when I stop repeating them? Chapter 3: First Crack in the Wall. One morning feels different. You can't explain why. The air moves softer, the routine waits. But you don't follow it. You take another street. Answer honestly when someone asks how you are. You say no to something small, and it feels strange. Not rebellion, curiosity. You want to know what happens when you stop agreeing. For the first time, fear and freedom walk together. Your chest feels tight and open at once. It feels wrong and right. You look around. The world hasn't changed. Only you have. The walls that kept you safe begin to whisper and crack. It was never a wall, just old paint you called protection. And you wonder, if one crack feels this alive, what happens when the whole wall falls? Chapter 4: Pushback and Doubt. You thought freedom would feel like flying. Instead, it feels like falling. The ground that once held you steady now moves under your feet. People notice. They ask what's wrong. You've changed, they say. Their voices sound like care, but they pull you backward. Maybe they're right. Maybe you pushed too far. You remember the safety of before, the quiet, the order, the walls. You miss how simple it felt to not question anything. Now every thought is noise. Every choice feels heavy. You stand between two worlds, the one you built and the one you can't see yet. Doubt grows loud. But maybe that's not a sign to stop. Maybe doubt is proof you're getting close. Chapter 5. What bigger really means. After doubt comes silence. You stop fighting the noise. You start listening. Maybe bigger isn't out there. Maybe it starts here, in the space between two thoughts. No applause, no spotlight, just a quiet shift. You begin to see, bigger isn't about having more. It's about seeing more. It's when fear loses its size, when dreams stop looking impossible and start looking honest. The world doesn't change. Your eyes do. And with that, the walls inside you begin to fade. The mind expands quietly. And one day you realize you were never small. If small thoughts built small days, what could a bigger one build? Chapter 6. Micro Experiments, Macro Shift. Thinking bigger is not a dream anymore. It's a test. You try one small thing. You answer honestly. You say yes where fear said no. You spend 1 hour on what matters, not on what just fills time. Nothing explodes. No one laughs. The world simply adjusts, as if it was waiting for you. Each small act rewires a piece of fear. Each honest step makes the next one easier. You change one corner of your day, and somehow the whole picture moves. You realize courage isn't loud. It's quiet and repeated. Like breathing, like waking up. It builds without asking for attention. The mind learns fast. The heart follows slower, but both begin to trust the change. If one small act can move so much, what happens when you stop calling them small? Chapter 7. Compounding Courage. One brave act doesn't change you. 100 quiet ones do. You no longer chase courage, you carry it. It moves with you, in small talks, small choices, small days. What once felt risky now feels natural. Fear still visits, but it doesn't stay long. You start to trust the pattern. Every time you face what scared you, the next moment opens wider. The world responds, not with applause, but with space. Courage compounds, just like fear once did. It grows in silence, stacking on itself, turning motion into momentum. And somewhere along the way, you stop trying to be brave. You just are. If courage grows this quietly, maybe that's how life was meant to grow all along. Chapter 8. Change your mind, change your life. You didn't move mountains. You moved yourself. The walls are still there, but they no longer hold you. It was never about thinking positive. It was about thinking real and bigger. Not louder, not faster, just deeper. You learned that change begins quiet, with one thought, one choice, one moment of honesty. The world outside didn't transform overnight. You did, and that changed everything that touched you. Maybe now it's your turn to think bigger, to learn English through stories that change how you think. If one thought can change your day, what could a new mind change? If this story moved something in you, stay with us. Here, you'll keep improving your English, naturally. Not through boring lessons, but through short stories that inspire, challenge, and stay with you. When you listen to what truly matters, language starts to grow inside you, without effort. Subscribe, and let's keep learning, feeling, and growing together.